Hey there, it's Bootzone here. Another day, another Henry. This one, HVR 200A. It's a high-low 1200 watt, 1000 watt Henry. I've taken it apart because it was full of water whenever I got it. So I've taken it apart and reduced it to these parts here. There's the high-low board here, the high-low switch here, on off. I'm going to give it a wipe and I'm going to take out the motor here. Let's do that. Because the motor filter, if you could call it that, the filter around the motor is just covered in dust. So I'll give that a clean, put it back together and see if it works. I'll give everything that's dusty inside a wipe as well. Let's take this off. I'll give that a clean outside. I don't know if I'm gonna wash it. I think I probably will actually. It's got this whole crust of dust up on top. Amazing. Yeah, I'll give that a wash off. A scrape off and a wash off, and then there's a bit of some kind of sparkles in there, look. Hey. And then we'll test the motor. So I'll give it all a wipe down and then test the motor. So I've got a washing machine on in the background. This water in here is actually the water out of the washing machine rinsing. So just trying to get a bit of value out of that water. It's not actually too bad. It's got like crusty shmoo on it, but it's not that bad. Rub that off, and then I put a bit of clean water on it and a bit of soap and try and squeeze it all out. Get the bits off first. Pretty black. Okay. And rinse out some of that dust. You can see how black the water's coming out just like that. Some filters from vacuum cleaners, and especially the big Henry filter, you can put them into the washing machine. There's going to be more water coming out of that hose now. I'm washing a Henry filter as we speak in the other washing machine. Turn that one off if you've got this water. It's coming out quite clean now. Get a little bit of soap on it. It's just kitchen washing up liquid. Some more black coming out of it. But it is turning out a lot whiter there, so we'll get some of these little snots out. In reality, that's probably clean enough to put back in, but while I'm working on it, I might as well get it cleaner. So the more I pump on it, the more dirt's coming out. I think we're getting there now. Got a few runs under the tap. And I'll hang this up to dry somewhere, and it shouldn't take long. I'll actually give it a bit of a tighter squeeze there. Might be a bit more water in it. Just a little bit more. And give this Henry a wipe down. So I've just got a dishcloth here. I'll try and actually pick off this stuff rather than wipe it off, because I'll only be getting it out of the cloth later. I think this is one of the bigger Henrys with the double impeller in it. It's a Pneumatic International 1199360. It's the 2-stage motor, I think. And it's a DL2 1104T. So there you go. It's got a date of 2010, so it's 10 years old, this machine. Could be broken, haven't tested it yet. So just go for wiping it all down a bit. I could take that rubber off, I'm not gonna. It's a bit rusty there on the motor. It's probably been damp at some stage. Really, it'd be best to bring this outside and blow it with an air line, which is what I might do. I think that's a better idea. I'll do that and come back in. So I've given the motor a clean out with the air line, and that's really, from my point of view, the best way of getting all the dust out of it. So that's pretty good. That's clean. Let's just give these surfaces here a wipe. Like, as soon as you use this thing, as soon as you turn it on again, it's going to get a load of dust in it. Because they're designed to suck air through and get dusty. So I'm not particularly worried. It's just about giving it a bit of a clean up, and really it's more so that if I'm testing it in the garage I don't get dust blowing all around. Because ultimately that dust, if it's not confined by the filters and whatnot, it's just going to blow out everywhere. Still don't know if it works, of course. I'll get this bit here cleaned up, and I'll get the other housing cleaned up. and put it back together. Just want to give these edges a clean because that's the bit you see. Okay, that's that one. There's this carousel here that takes the cord. Give all that a wipe out. And this really, you know, once the lid goes on this, you'll never see it. So it's just for my own satisfaction if I keep this machine or if I get rid of it. So it could be with this, like I don't know what's wrong with it, but it could be that the high-low is broken. I've seen that before. The connections to the motor are okay. I've just done a James recently and the connections to the motor had broken. And so I just made a new connection and it worked again. The motor was fine. Different type of motor to this one. See, the boards break. You can see it there. It's just a little switch that turns on and off the power to close it down by about 20% or whatever it was, 16%. Okay, that's that enough for me. It's clean enough. And the top bit. In the past, I've given these a full bath, special treatment, the whole lot, hot water, a little shower afterwards, you know. But it's not worth the hassle at the moment. I'm just not interested in that. I'd rather get a machine that's working for myself than spend my time cleaning it. Granted, I'm doing more cleaning than some people would bother with. If you're a builder, well, I presume a builder had this one and just threw it out. Was using it for plaster, dust, or that kind of stuff, because that's what they typically suffer from. Not as bad as the Dysons, but a bit of paint spatter on this one as well. Let's give that a clean. I've given the bottom a bath because it needed it more than any reason. Other than that, let's get the handle clean. There was a date code on the motor, I think. So wasn't there? 2010? Yeah, 2010. So it's 10 years old, which is, you know, old enough if anyone's interested. That's the full thing there. A bit cleaner. And then the last bit to clean is the carousel for the cable. Again, it's not really cleaning, it's just dusting. So get dust into everything. If it works, I'll pull the cable off. Like, and it could be a fuse fault, could be a cable fault, could be anything wrong with it. What I always find peculiar about these things is that people aren't interested in fixing them. Even the thought of getting it fixed is more hassle than the act of just buying a new one. These are about 120 quid, which is not much money. And if you're in business, that's all tax deductible. So the hassle of driving around for an hour, finding someone who's going to fix it, and then driving back to collect it a week later when all the while you've needed a Hoover or a vacuum cleaner, you know, it's not worth the hassle. Bit of dust in there, clean that off, but there's a bit of wax in here, or not wax, whatever it is, the grease that goes on that ring. And just clean the end here, and then I'll reassemble it and we'll give it a bit of a spin. So, motor, I'll reassemble it without the filter in place and I won't use it for vacuuming properly. Okay, I put a little mark on these things. There's a 1 and a 2, so the 2 has 2 marks on the cord. That's this one. So put that back on there, that spade connector. And the 1 goes onto this other spade connector, like that. And then that goes in here somehow. The rubber seat slots in where it's meant to sit. And then normally you have to do this the other way up, but because I haven't got the filter in place, I can just slot it together for now, like that, and twist it over. It's still a bit damp, but any airflow will just help. Put that carousel on. I've tried to test one of these in the past without the carousel on, so it was plugged in. The carousel was plugged in, but sure, of course I couldn't get any electricity because the carousel was nowhere near the electricity. Right, and then that sits up here. And it sits in there. That's it. We put a few of the screws back in. 2, I'd say, is all I'm going to bother with. 1, there's the other. Okay, let's plug it in. It's off now. Moment of truth, I'm expecting nothing. Okay, so the power's off now. As expected, a load of dust came out of it. Works. That switch works. The motor works. High-low doesn't. The light comes on when you hit it, but it doesn't go on any higher. Not that that makes a difference, really. I'm not sure why it was thrown out. These things work just fine on low, I guess. It's possible to bypass the high-low board. I think I've done that in another video, although it'd be easy enough to find that on the internet somewhere. You basically just wire it straight from this switch to the motor. Not a big deal, but you want to put a blanking plate or something in there, or you can just leave that disconnected and just write not working or something on it, or leave it and just know that that's what you've done. Does the paint come off if you clean it? Yeah, you can get that paint off. So I'm not sure what to do with this. High-low things for these are about 20 quid. And this one would need a new filter, and it would need a new hose and nozzle and all that stuff for it. So I'm not sure if I'll do anything with it. I might just keep it for spares as it stands. See if we can get some blanking plates for that. Or a little light. The other one is you put a light in there and it just tells you it's on. Okay, Henry, there's your testing and looking at it. If you want to tell me what I should do to it, I've kind of given you the options there. Let me know in the comments. That'd be cool. Thanks for watching. See you later.